What's up, YouTube? Mike from Mass here, Upside Down Mass. In this video, I would like to show you, because I've been getting a lot of questions, about the importance of having a refractometer when you have a reef tank. Now, 10 gallon, 40 gallon, 180, 220, 500 gallons, it doesn't matter how many gallons of reefs you have, a refractometer is super important. Now, this is what it looks like. I have a video on how to use a refractometer, but I want to tell you a little bit about how I use my refractometer. So, right now I'm mixing some salt water, mixing about 40 gallons of salt water. I mix it in all 5-gallon buckets. I have my power head, my circulation pump in this bucket, mixing. Now this is just complete RODI unit, RODI water. And what I like to do with every single bucket, because there might be residual salt left over, you never know what's in, is I like to take a 1cc syringe, drop it on my refractometer, close it up, and it is right on 0, so that's good. Sometimes, it may change a tiny bit, but I like to see where it is. I like to calibrate my refractometer with RODI water. Now, a lot of people have calibration fluid. I like to use my RODI. It's, 0 TDS, and if my RODI can calibrate my refractometer to 0, then I can use this to perfectly get my salinity right where I want to be. Now I shoot, I'm sure like most people, right for 1.024 to 1.026. 1.026 is my high, 1.024 is my low. I like to be right around the middle, but I know where everything is. So, I've already mixed some water over here, and what I do is, after I mix the water, I get some masking tape, put it right on top of the bucket, I date it, 225, and specific gravity was 1.025. Because I may not use this bucket for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month. Now, stored in your basement, it's sealed, there's no evaporation, there's no temperature fluctuation. I think you can store salt water for quite a long time. Now, I know there's some debate on this, on how long you can store salt water. A lot of people say use it immediately. Some people say you can have it indefinitely. I'm along the lines of, you can have it for a while. Nothing's ever happened to my buckets. There's never been any type of growth. There's never been any type of salinity change, because the temperature is constant. It's a sealed bucket. Nothing's getting in, nothing's going out, so that's what I do. So I label my bucket, the date, and what the specific gravity is, and right before I do a water change, I like to test it just to see if it's changed. Now, I think out of 1 out of every 100 buckets, and I've made a lot of salt water, I got a little bit different than what it was on here, and maybe that was me having too many beers, and maybe I just miscalculated or whatever. But always label the date, always label what the specific gravity is when you make it. So then I go put this with my salt water. Now I have RODI straight up, right on the money. I'm going to put my salt in my bucket to mix my water. And believe me, you can lose track of count really quick. I always hold my fingers out, because I start thinking about other stuff. What do I have to do? What kind of water changes I have to do? And believe me, when you count to 4, you think it's easy. Then all of a sudden you're on 2, and you're like, wait, did I put 2 or did I put 6? How many did I put in this bucket? So, another thing, when I'm thinking in my head, every time I put a scoop in, I hold a finger up. Now this is 4. I know these buckets, I fill them up a half cup for 1 gallon. This is a 5-gallon bucket. I do about 4.5, and that gets me to right point 1.025. So, gonna mix that. I let the power head do most of the work, but I like have a little spoon just in case. Give it a quick start. And that's it. Now what I'll do is I'll let this sit here for maybe like 5 minutes and just mix up real good. And I usually come right on 1.024, 1.025. That's where I want to be. If it's 1.026, I do mark it on the bucket as 1.026, and then I'll check it before I do a water change. 2 weeks later, maybe the salt wasn't completely mixed, so it might be a little higher. But that's higher is okay, because you can just add some RO and take it down a notch. If it's really low, it's difficult to add tiny bits of salt here and there to get it to where you need it to be. I'd rather have this bucket be high at the 1.026, 1.027 range, and then I can just add some RO to dilute it. And once this bucket's mixed, I'm going to use my refractometer, which is one of my most essential tools in having a reef tank, a saltwater tank. And draw up a little, put it on, check it out, boom, ready to go, label, and done. So, folks, that's why I think a refractometer is important. And if you have a saltwater tank or a reef tank, you definitely need to buy a refractometer. We'll post a link down below, and you can buy the refractometer I have. Cheap, works good, perfect. My Aquarium box. Go get yourself a My Aquarium box. I am out.